Yeah, I take a step back from just skills and knowledge, and I really talk about values and desire when it comes to working in any industry, career, or
Yeah.
job, but especially sports. So the first one's gratitude, because gratitude is the most powerful, easiest, efficient way to change your life, especially in sports. You'll see gratitude everywhere because it is a perspective builder. It allows you to find the light, the love, and the lessons in every loss that
Yeah.
exists in sports. The second value is forgiveness, which is the antidote to try.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Sporting World podcast. And today I'm here with David Meltzer. And David, first of all, thanks for taking the time. How's everything going these days?
Fantastic. So excited. Always this time of year as we move forward, accelerating in a trajectory of what we think we want, and what better place to be than this platform to share the stories, the lessons, and the advice that we can help people take them and themselves to the next level.
Absolutely. Well, it's a pleasure having you here. And as always, first of all, I think it would be great if you could just cover a little bit about your journey in the sport industry and a little bit about the beginning of Sports One marketing as well. Take us a little bit through how things started off for you.
Well, I saw a movie called Jerry Maguire, and I realized when I saw the movie, it wasn't a sports film. It was
Right.
a love story with a backdrop of sports.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to have a business with the backdrop of sports. So when I got involved with technology with West Publishing and had a huge exit with Thomson Reuters,
Right.
sports was at the backdrop. Then when I was in the middleware in the Silicon Valley during the big boom, sports was at the backdrop. When I was CEO of Samsung's phone division with the sponsorships and appearances and signings, sports was in the backdrop,
Yeah.
which led me to Leigh Steinberg, the most notable sports agency in the world, who they actually made the movie Jerry Maguire about. And
Right.
I found myself as CEO of the world's most notable sports agency with a perspective of making sports the backdrop of the business. And
Right.
through being a sports agent at the leading sports agency, I met a man named Warren Moon, which gave me an opportunity to create a marketing company where the primary objective was to put sports as a backdrop to bring all of the greatest heroes, billionaires, millionaires, entrepreneurs, celebrities, athletes, and entertainers
Right.
to the biggest sporting events in the world:
Yeah.
Super Bowl, Pro Bowl, Masters, Kentucky Derby, Breeders' Cup, ESPYs, Emmys, Oscars, Grammys, in order to raise money for charity. In other words, to
Awesome.
make money, to help people and have fun, with
Right.
sports as a backdrop at Sports One Marketing, which led me to do the exact same thing over the last 5 years with my personal brand, with
Right.
TV, movie, podcasts, opportunities. So for me, the evolution started with a movie, a love story named Jerry Maguire, and has led me to create businesses and philanthropy with the exact same purpose and cause.
That's great. And like it obviously have to start somewhere, right? And if it's a movie or if it's a book or it's a passion, it just comes from something. I think that's just the beauty of sports in itself, right? And you talk a bit about, how important that is and like obviously how much it can impact a lot of people, like the fundraising you can do with it as well and give back, right? And that's sort of like the beauty of sports in itself.
Absolutely. And we can see that during the World Cup better than ever, because it not only brings a country together, but it brings the world together with the exact same perspective. And we're seeing that today with the upsets, with the
Right.
community in the last place that people 20 years ago would have ever imagined having a World Cup in the Middle East. But yet it's turning out to be a great common denominator, a great bonding experiment and experience for so many countries around the world.
Absolutely. And uh, one of the key things, obviously, for you, especially with your current brand and the company you're running now, talk a bit about your four principles that you talk about a lot, and a little bit of why they are so valuable, and especially for students seeking a career in the sport industry.
Yeah, I take a step back from just skills and knowledge, and I really talk about values and desire when it comes to working in any industry, career, or
Yeah.
job, but especially sports. So the first one's gratitude, because gratitude is the most powerful, easiest, efficient way to change your life, especially in sports. You'll see gratitude everywhere because it is a perspective builder. It allows you to find the light, the love, and the lessons in every loss that
Yeah.
exists in sports. The second value is forgiveness, which is the antidote to trying hard, because if you are doing your best, learning lessons and having fun, you're going to make a ton of mistakes, and you're going to have to learn to forgive yourself. And you can see so much of that in sports, where people make mistakes, setbacks, and failure, and they forgive themselves so they can move on to a better place, a better position, or a better situation. The third one is an evolution of accountability, which is not just responsibility, that I'm responsible for missing that shot. It's beyond the law of attraction. What did I do to attract this miss, and what am I supposed to learn from it? It
Right.
actually is a matter of participating in a perception of faith, a perception that I am here to get better, to be protected and promoted by the missed shot. And therefore, I've learned this lesson, which will accelerate me, compound itself to allow me to move forward to a better place, a better situation, to
Yeah.
truly be protected and promoted by all the setbacks, failures, and mistakes that
Right.
are created, especially in sports.
No, 100%. And if you tackle that a little bit, especially, to the younger people, students, young professionals that are trying so hard, to get into the sport industry, how are you essentially like, making all these four core principles and how can they look at that as a way of, okay, this is part of my, building my identity, my core, and a pathway to securing a career in the sport industry?
Well, it really realms from the fourth value, which is effective communication,
Yeah.
which incorporates the skills that they have, the knowledge that they develop, and their desire, aligned with synergistic and supplementary to the passion that they have in sports. And so
Right.
if they look within with gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, and effective communication, with the intellect, the intuition, and the inspiration necessary to enjoy the consistent everyday, persistent without quit pursuit of their own potential, they'll find statistical success within the context of being more efficient, more productive, more
Yeah.
accessible, and more gracious with the time spent in a trajectory of what they think they want. Too many people have romanticized a sports career without looking at what skills does it take to be a general manager, a front office, a coach, a
Right.
player, a lawyer, a marketer, whatever it may be. They haven't taken the time to look at the skills and the knowledge of being whatever it is within the context of sports. Instead, their resume reeks of, well, I want to work in sports because I love soccer. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
You need to develop your skills and knowledge, because that's your basement. Your
Right.
desire will determine your potential, especially in sports.
Yeah, no, it's an extremely valid point, and I think more than ever, we're so swarmed up by the beautiful things we see in sports, right? And we want to be part of that, and we all think it's like, like, oh, I want to work in sports because I can stand next to, Ronaldo and Messi and be in the World Cup, sharing with them. But that's not the case. Very, very rarely that's the case, and you know that, better than anyone, being in the industry for so many years. And talk a little about, obviously I love all the four, core principles you're mentioning, but I also wanted to touch a little bit, if you can go a little bit deeper, into accountability, which I think is also an extremely important part, in your student younger years, building that accountability, it's a big part.
Yeah, of course, most younger people see accountability as blame, shame, and justification. And justification is usually the methodology or modality that we utilize to explain why we're not where we want to be.
Right.
And in order to be where we want to be, we have to be willing to utilize accountability in the participation in our actions of what we do, say, think, believe, and feel.
Right.
And if we participate in the perception of those five things and focus in on a trajectory of what we think we want, we then will learn faster. We'll find the light. We'll find the love, meaning the opportunities, the options, the touches, the favor, and the lessons,
Yeah.
in order to allow us to take advantage of the options, opportunities, and touches of favor, to be able to expand, grow, and accelerate, to find the protection and promotion in each and every one of the events, circumstances, or incidents that other people are victims from, in blame, shame, and justification, but instead with responsibility, attraction, and participation in a perception, we are continually growing, learning, and accelerating towards bigger and better things.
Absolutely. And to sort of like wrap things up here a little bit, I wanted to, obviously, we're big on and a lot of the people that are listening to this podcast and what we're doing here at Sporting Global, obviously they're young students and professionals, trying to get their foot in the door in the sport industry. Like, what tips do you have, for students looking to get a career in the sport industry? Like, what would be kind of like the key advice you have? Some things maybe you've seen more recent now than ever, in terms of, because obviously the competition is extremely high, right? And there's a lot of people that want to get in. What tips would you give them for those that really want to be part of the sport industry?
Ask for help. Find people who sit in a situation that you want to be in and ask them for directions, ask them for help, and be willing to live in the empty mile. Meaning, so many people talk about working in sports, they don't ask for help, and they go the extra mile every once in a while, and then they use what they did 2 weeks ago when they went the extra mile and stayed up till 2 a.m. as a justification to why they're not where they want to be. The people who ask for help, the people who do it every day, live in an empty mile. They live in a non-competitive atmosphere in the sports world by doing stuff every day, by enjoying the consistent, persistent pursuit of the potential. They justify where they are by the skills, knowledge, and desire that they execute on every single day. Where those people going the extra mile every once in a while will justify where they're not. People who go the extra mile every day will justify why they are. And the best way to do it is to find someone who sits in the situation you want to be in and ask them for help. Ask them, do you know anyone that can help me? And those people who sit in a situation not only have directions, but they know other people directions as well. Right. And they usually have open minds, open hearts, and open hands to help other people who truly are willing to do the work.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, like, in a sense too, if there's one lesson people should take from this podcast, it's ask for help. You never know what it might lead to, where you might go with it, and what that might bring. Maybe an opportunity, maybe you meet someone else, maybe you expand your network, right? And obviously network is a big part of the industry as well. I know we're about to close our ways here to the end. So David, I would like to thank you, so much for taking the time, for sharing your thoughts, your insights here with the Sporting Global platform. I do also have it's kind of like a Sporting Global podcast tradition that we do with all our guests. So I have to teach you a little bit Norwegian at the end, just as a nice kind of lesson. And so with every video we do, we always finish with "Vi snakkes," which means see you later in Norwegian. So that's what you have to say.
Vi snakkes.
Vi snakkes. Thank you so much, David.
Thank you.